My pregnant sister demanded my car, so I taught her a lesson she'll never forget. My sister, Emily, and I have always had a complicated relationship. She's younger than me by 3 years, but she's always been the more demanding one. Ever since we were kids, Emily had a way of making her problems everyone else's. She'd get into trouble and expect others, mainly me, to clean it up. So, when she got pregnant unexpectedly, I wasn't exactly shocked when she started leaning on the family for help, but I didn't expect what she asked next. Emily's car had been on its last leg for months. She'd constantly complain about it breaking down, refusing to get it properly fixed, claiming she didn't have the money. She's 7 months pregnant now, and I get that life's been tough for her. But last week, she came over to my apartment with that I need a favor look on her face. She sat on my couch, rubbed her belly dramatically, and then asked, "Can I have your car? Mine keeps breaking down." At first, I thought she was joking. I laughed a little and said, "Wait, you want to borrow it?" But she didn't laugh. She just looked at me, dead serious, and repeated, "No, I mean I need it. Like, permanently. You work from home. You barely drive. I have doctor appointments, errands, and soon I'll need to get to the hospital. You don't even need a car right now." I was stunned. She wasn't asking, she was expecting me to give her my only car. I told her, gently but firmly, "Emily, I can't just give you my car. I understand things are hard, but that's a huge ask." Her face twisted into a familiar pout, the one she used as a kid whenever she didn't get her way. Wow, she snapped. "So, you're just going to let your pregnant sister struggle? I knew you'd be selfish." I stayed calm, but it hurt. She stormed out after tossing out, "Don't expect an invite to the baby shower if you can't support your family." Later that night, my phone blew up. My mom texted saying I should reconsider. My aunt chimed in with, "It's just a car. Family matters more." I even got a message from Emily's baby daddy, a man I've never met, calling me cold and heartless. Apparently, she twisted the story, telling everyone I refused to help her in her time of need. No one asked for my side. They all just assumed I was being cruel for not handing over something I worked hard for. I tried to ignore it, but the guilt started creeping in. Was I being too harsh? I mean, she's pregnant, she's stressed, and I do work remotely. But the truth is, I bought that car with my own savings. It's not just transportation, it's my independence. I didn't want to be one of those people who folds just because the pressure gets heavy. I knew Emily. Today it's my car. Tomorrow, who knows? My rent, my savings, my time. It never ends with her. A few days passed and Emily didn't speak to me. Then I saw her post a passive-aggressive rant on Facebook about how some people would rather watch their pregnant sister suffer than lift a finger to help. I didn't even have to guess who it was about. Comments poured in. "So sorry you're dealing with that. Family should always be there." One person even offered her a ride, someone she barely knew, yet she refused. She wanted my car. Not a solution, control. Eventually, my mom came over. She brought a casserole, her peace offering, when she's about to guilt-trip me. She sat at my kitchen table and gave me that long, disappointed mom look. "She's your sister. This is temporary. You don't even drive that much." I asked her, "If you think she needs a car so badly, why don't you give her yours?" My mom paused, then mumbled something about not being able to afford another vehicle. I said, "Exactly. Neither can I." What made it worse was Emily knew exactly what she was doing. She knew she could manipulate our family. She knew how to spin the story. And she knew how to make me look like the villain. But here's the thing, I'd helped her so many times before. Paid her rent once. Helped her with bills. Even let her stay with me after one of her breakups. But I never got a thank you. Just more demands. More expectations. More emotional blackmail. Then something unexpected happened. My dad called. He rarely takes sides in family drama. But he told me he heard what was going on and I had every right to keep my car. "You earn it," he said. "And if she's that desperate, maybe she should learn to fix her life instead of trying to hijack yours." It was the first time I felt truly validated. Like I wasn't crazy for drawing a line. It gave me the strength to stop second-guessing myself. A week went by, and Emily finally called me. But it wasn't to apologize. No, she doubled down. "I hope you're happy," she snapped. "I missed a doctor's appointment because my car wouldn't start. If anything happens to this baby, it's on you." My heart dropped. How do you even respond to something like that? I took a deep breath and said, "You're not being fair. I'm not responsible for your life choices. You're an adult, and I'm not your personal rescue plan." She hung up on me. I sat on my couch, staring at the wall, wondering how we got here. Growing up, we were close. She used to protect me from bullies, sneak me candy when I was sad. But now, it's like she was a stranger, entitled, angry. Manipulative. I wanted to believe it was the stress of the pregnancy, but deep down I knew better. This wasn't new. It was just louder now. More intense. Because I finally said no. That night, I had a dream. I was driving through a storm and Emily was in the back seat, yelling at me to take a different road. I kept trying to explain that I knew where I was going, but she wouldn't listen. Eventually, I stopped the car, got out, and walked into the rain alone. When I woke up, I realized something: I had to stop trying to fix her journey. I had my own path to follow, my own peace to protect. 2 weeks later, she posted ultrasound pictures online. I didn't comment. I didn't like them. I didn't reach out. And it hurt, because I did care. But I couldn't keep playing the game. My mom texted, asking if I'd changed my mind. I said no. And for once, she didn't push. I think she finally saw it too that enabling Emily wasn't love. It was damage. Quiet, polite, family-approved damage. And I didn't want to be part of it anymore. A month later, I got a message from one of Emily's friends. She said, "I don't know what happened between you two, but Emily's been telling people you abandoned her. I just wanted you to know I've been there too." She did the same to me. You're not alone. I didn't expect that. But it reminded me that boundaries don't just protect you from others, they help others find the strength to build their own. I wasn't the villain. I was just done. 2 months before her due date, Emily reached out again. This time, she sounded calm. "I just wanted to say I'm sorry. I know I've been harsh. I was scared, and I didn't know how to ask for help without demanding it." I paused before replying. I appreciated the apology, but something in me had changed. I wasn't the same sibling who bent over backwards. I responded with, "Thank you for saying that. I hope everything goes well with the baby." She seemed surprised I didn't immediately offer help or try to rebuild what was broken. But I couldn't go back. Setting that boundary taught me how much I'd been giving without receiving. And not just to Emily, to everyone. I realized I was the family fixer, the dependable one, the one who'd always say yes. And that role, it was slowly draining me. Emily's demand for my car just happened to be the moment I finally noticed. Weeks passed. Emily gave birth to a healthy baby boy. I saw the photos online. He was adorable. I cried a little, quietly, in my kitchen. Not because I wasn't part of it, but because I finally felt peace. I didn't need to be in the center of every family moment to be okay. I could love from a distance and still be whole. For the first time in a long while, I felt like I was living my own life, not someone else's emotional backup plan. The rest of the family eventually stopped pushing me. I think they realized Emily's behavior wasn't just pregnancy stress. They stopped treating me like the villain. And though my relationship with Emily never fully repaired, it became cordial, respectful. We'd text now and then, share a meme or a quick update. But that intensity, the pressure, the manipulation, it never returned. Because I never opened that door again. Looking back, I'm proud of myself. Saying no to my pregnant sister was one of the hardest things I've ever done. It felt wrong, unnatural, even cruel at first. But I've learned that compassion without boundaries is self-betrayal. And love without limits becomes control. I loved Emily, and I loved her baby. But I loved myself too. And sometimes, the most loving thing you can do is say no, even if they never understand why. A few months later, I was visiting our parents for dinner when Emily showed up unexpectedly. It was awkward at first, but we kept it polite. Over time, we started having small conversations, mostly about her son. She seemed more grounded now, more self-aware. I could tell motherhood had matured her in ways that no argument ever could. I didn't bring up the past, and neither did she. Some wounds are better left as silent reminders. At one point during dinner, she turned to me and said, "I know I was out of line. You had every right to say no." It was the first time she acknowledged the depth of it all without being defensive. I smiled, simply nodded, and said, "Thank you. That was enough." We didn't need a long discussion or a dramatic reconciliation. That one sentence closed a chapter and opened a quiet, respectful new one. In the months that followed, our interactions were occasional but warm. I met her baby once at a family event. He had her eyes. Holding him in my arms, I felt a strange combination of grief and gratitude. Grief for the closeness we lost, gratitude for the boundary that saved me. It reminded me that we can still love people from a safe distance, and that forgiveness doesn't always mean returning to what was. I went on to focus more on my own goals. I started saving for a better car, traveling more, and spending time with friends who didn't drain me. I even joined a local book club, something I'd always wanted to do, but never had time for. Life became quieter, but in a beautiful way. The absence of chaos made space for real joy, the kind that isn't tied to someone else's crisis. People sometimes ask if I regret not helping Emily more during her pregnancy. My answer is always the same. I helped her in the way she needed, not the way she wanted. She needed someone to finally say no, to hold up a mirror and show her that love isn't about sacrifice without end. It's about honesty, respect, and boundaries. And if that makes me the bad sibling in some eyes, I can live with that. Years later, I look back on that time as a turning point, not just in my relationship with Emily, but in how I value myself. Saying no wasn't easy. It cost me peace, relationships, and even sleep. But it gave me something much more important: clarity. I learned that protecting your well-being isn't selfish. It's necessary. And sometimes, the most loving thing you can do is walk away before resentment poisons the bond. Emily and I will never be what we once were. That truth used to sting. Now, it feels like part of growing up. We're civil, kind, and connected just enough. I support her from afar, and I know she supports me in her own quiet way. There's no bitterness left, only acceptance. The kind that comes when you stop wishing people were different and start meeting them exactly where they are. So, if you've ever been in a situation where someone you love demands too much your time, your money, your energy, I hope this story gives you permission to say no. Not out of spite, but out of self-respect. You deserve to be the main character in your own life, not a backup in someone else's drama. Stand your ground, draw your lines, and don't apologize for putting yourself first when no one else will.